Hello and welcome. I'm Diana Loderhose, International Features Editor here at Deadline. We are back in the Red Sea studio here in Jeddah, and I'm delighted to be here with actor Joel Kinnaman.
Hello.
Hello, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So you're also on the jury here
I am.
this year. So
Yeah, I'm very important.
tell us all about, you've been here
I'm
before.
going like this.
Have you seen many films so far?
Only a couple.
Yeah.
Yeah, but really, really good so far. So yeah, it's going to be, I mean, it's such a great opportunity to just, I think we're watching 17 movies in 7 days or something.
Yeah.
And then get to, talk to Baz Luhrmann and Frida Pinto about it. It's very educational.
That's quite cool. Is
Yeah.
it? And so tell me, this is your second time here. Maybe you can tell me a little bit about your thoughts on the festival and the region as a whole, kind of coming into its own.
I mean, it was a good showing last year as well, but just watching the opening ceremony, how everything is organized now, it feels that it's found itself, the festival, and I just think it's really exciting what's happening here in general. I think it's great for the region and the world, and you just see all these emerging filmmakers, female filmmakers. It's a very good thing that's going on here.
Yeah, definitely. So you also have a pretty big film that's just come out in the cinemas, I believe,
Yeah.
right? Silent
yeah,
Night.
we had a screening of it here yesterday.
How did that go?
Very well. This is one of the things I was most excited about this film. So for people who don't know, it's the return of John Woo from 20 years back to Hollywood, and it's classic John Woo movie in many ways. It's fast paced, an action film, but the kicker on this one is that there is no dialogue in the film, and what really excited me about this project as well was that everyone in the entire world is going to see the same film.
Right.
And in a way that, basically hasn't happened before, because, when you have to read subtitles, you don't understand the language. There are nuances that just gets lost. Here, nothing gets lost. So yeah, and we when we had the screening last night, and we were getting the same kind of reactions that we were getting in the American screenings. People were cheering, and because they really liked the movie. That's why.
That's great. That's fantastic. But I was going to say, what kind of, if there's no dialogue, what kind of challenge, that obviously brings a whole different set of challenges to you as an actor. Maybe you can speak on this a little
Yeah,
bit.
you can't fake it, otherwise I'd be like, how could you do this to me? And you use your voice to express emotion or to cover for the lack of emotion. But yeah, that was the sort of big realization making the film, that you really had to prep before each take in a way that was much more intense than in a traditional film, because you have no other means than your eyes. And I was hoping to create those little micro movements that happen in the face when you are deeply emotional or filled with intense thought. So it demanded me to keep my inner dialogue, much more alive. So for me, I think I think it taught me something about acting for sure.
What was it like working with John Woo?
It was amazing. He has a very complimentary nickname, the Master of the Camera, and it made me understand. Early on when we were filming, I understood why he was so drawn to this concept. Because, in a traditional film, you have to spend a lot of time filming the person that's talking and the person that's listening. And here he could just, use his visual storytelling genius of just, telling the story of the scene by designing one beautiful shot that just tells it all. So it was very cinematic. The film sort of plays in two planes, where the drama in the film is quite poetic in the way that he tells the story, and then the action is very fast-paced and kind of hard-boiled.
What else are you working on? What can we expect from you next?
I have another film that was just sold to Paramount. They have to change the title on it.
Is it the Another Silent?
It's called The Silent Hour.
Silent Hour,
so
yes.
I'm hoping that they change the title, but it's a Brad Anderson directed film that I'm very excited about, and then I have the fourth season of For All Mankind is streaming on Apple TV.
Maybe could you tell me a little bit about what you enjoy? I mean, it's nice to be able to work in both mediums, I would imagine. Tell me a little bit about, working, the different demands of working on television series versus films.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically all the same. It's just, what format. For All Mankind has a unique challenge because the unique nature of that show is that it jumps about a decade between every season. And I mean, that was also what really drew me to the project, because to play age in that way is one of the most difficult things you can do as an actor. And especially when we get up in the seasons, I knew that season 4 and 5, I would be like in my 70s and 80s. It's very unusual. I don't know if it's ever been done where like the lead of a show plays 30 years older than themselves. So, that can just become an absolute disaster if you don't nail it. And so, of course, it was a bitch with sitting in makeup for 5.5 hours every morning. Wow. I would get up at 12:30 a.m., be in the chair at 1:30, and then start shooting around 7:30. And then you have like a 12-hour day on that. But it's also you're living inside this silicone mask that, and constantly people, poking, because with that kind of makeup, it demands constant maintenance. So you have to meditate through the day, every day, and it's just having someone every day, just all the time poking in your eyes, and like it's really tough mentally, and especially because I'm shooting that for 6 months.
Right. Is that more challenging than something like? I mean, it sounds like that might have been more challenging than your role in Silent Night.
That was like just.
Different.
Just mentally, that was probably the most challenging thing I've ever done, and I kept saying to myself, never again. But
here you are.
But I'll probably do it again. Yeah.
So one last question. I had recently read reports that you would be up for returning to the DC universe at some point.
I don't know how that would go, but
is this true? And if so, what role would you like to play, James Gunn?
Well, I don't know. I have no idea. But if I were to ever do something, I think I'd have to come back playing some sort of nasty villain in a big costume of some sort. Something that would not make people associate with Flag.
Right. Gotcha. Yeah. Do you enjoy playing villainous characters? Or
I do, but I haven't gotten to enough. But I really do, actually.
Okay.
It's a lot of fun. You can kind of just go with it.
Watch this space. Thank you so much for joining us here today, Joel.
Thank you.
And good luck
Pleasure
at the rest
talking
of
to
the
you.
festival. Thank
Thank
you.
you.